Alright, hey guys, Yofa here and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I am going to be explaining the full Piggy storyline. I'm going to show you all the cutscenes and I'm going to explain the whole storyline. Now, this video will be quite long. I'm going to upload a separate summary video probably tomorrow, so if you want to check that out, that will basically summarize everything I said in this video, just to make a much shorter length video that will explain the story instead of me showing every single cutscene and going into depth about everything in the story. But yeah, I'm going to go through all the cutscenes, explain everything in the story, and then when I've done all of that, I'm also going to explain all the hints we've got towards, and basically to fill in the gaps that the story didn't show in the cutscene. So all the notes that we get, stuff like that. I'm going to show that at the end of the video to fill in all those gaps. So basically this video will tell you everything you need to know about the full Piggy storyline up to chapter 11, the most recent chapter that we have got. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, so let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy. Smash that subscribe button if this helped, and yeah, let's go. Alright guys, so let's do this. So we start off, you are playing a police officer and George Piggy has gone missing and was last seen in a house. So you go searching for George Piggy as seen in this video, but daughter Piggy actually knocks you out, who is obviously infected. Meaning you have to find escape route out the house, which is happening now. There's no cutscenes at the ending of these bits for the first few chapters, but there are endings as we get into it. In chapter 2, you head to the police station to explain to your fellow officers what has happened, but you don't see anyone. But then Doggy on the speaker tells you obviously that there's a monster and you have to get out of the garage. Inside the station you also find Mum Piggy, who is the mother of George Piggy. We're basically going through the family of George Piggy. In chapter 3, you and Doggy escape in a car. Obviously you're met with Doggy at the end of the last chapter, but you run out of gas. You're surrounded by the infected, so you have to go through the gallery to obviously find an escape in there. In the gallery you find Dad Piggy, who is obviously George's father, and then you escape that. In chapter 4, it actually skips time a little bit. It's actually 4 weeks later. So you and Doggy escape the gallery and find shelter in a forest. You set up camp and plan to stay the night. As you can see, it's getting late. Maybe we should get some rest. But you do wake up in the middle of the night to find Doggy missing. Doggy is completely gone. You find out later that Tisby has actually forced Doggy to drink a potion while you were asleep and has infected him, which turns him into a monster. As you play the chapter, you have to escape him, who is obviously infected. In the final cutscene, you get introduced to Mr. P, as you can see here. He speaks through a walkie-talkie and he asks you to rescue his friend from the school. So obviously you go into the school, which is chapter 5. Mr. P's friend is actually Buddy, who you have met with. You save and then you go and meet Mr. P, as you can see. However, then you don't feel too well and you actually fall unconscious. And then once you fall unconscious, you wake up in a hospital, as you can see. Buddy is with you in the hospital, but Mr. P is actually waiting on the roof of the hospital, so you have to get through the hospital and get back to Mr. P, obviously, to do that. As you can see, how long was I out for? Buddy doesn't even answer that question, so I don't know why that was why that was included, but yeah. And then there we go. Mr. P is waiting for us on the roof of the hospital. When you do get to the roof of the hospital, as you can see, we find out that Mr. P actually left without them. Oh. We need to find another way out. Obviously, Mr. P's gone. We have to go back inside the hospital, back to venture off to try and find another way to escape the infected. But when you walk off, you ask Buddy, are you coming? But Buddy has actually seen a note left by Mr. P, which we are about to see here, as you can see, and it says, I have to do this for our own good. So Mr. P purposely left, who knows why. And now chapter 7, obviously we had to find different escape routes, so we go to the metro, the train, but Bunny feels tired, so she has to rest while we obviously get all the stuff to get the train up and running so we can escape. So obviously we get the train up and running, as you can see here, but Bunny is not feeling alright, and she doesn't feel as if she could get on the train because Mr. P actually gave her a potion and she drank it, which is slowly turning her, as she thinks, into the infected. So there you go. You can still come with me, we can find him, but Bunny does not feel up for it and wants us to leave her. So yes, go without me, and then obviously we leave without Bunny, and we leave her there to die, basically. Well, goodbye, Bunny, and yeah, there's the last we see of Bunny, or is it? The last we see of Bunny in this form, anyway. Here we go. So after wanting revenge and seeking answers, obviously, from Mr. P, because at this point we're basically assuming Mr. P is evil, we head to the carnival, Mr. P's carnival, to find him and basically kill him. We go in to try and find him, but we are not met with Mr. P. We're actually met with Zizzy and Pony, who are new characters. Basically, they went out to try and find the uninfected so they can bring them back to the safe place, their own safe place that they have in the city. So as you can see here, they're introducing themselves. I'm Zizzy and I'm Pony. I'm YT. What are you doing here? We came to look for survivors. We've got a safe place. Oh look, they've got a friend too. Or is it our friend? Because this is certainly not our friend. We've never met this person before. That's not our friend, that's one of them. Don't worry, I got this. Boom. So yeah, the infected are growing in numbers. As you can see, as we get through the chapters, there are a lot more in people getting infected. So note that as well. And let's bring you back with us. This place is dangerous. So obviously we go with Zizzy and Pony. We've got nothing else to do. We don't know where Mr. P is. We've got no idea where he could be. So we go back with Zizzy and Pony to the safe place to obviously avoid the infected. So here it is. There it is, our safe place. Then we pretty surprised that we found someone. We've got to get through the infected city to get to the safe place. When we eventually get there, we just talk to each other, to Zizzy and Pony, about what we previously done. So we find out, obviously, we was a police officer at the start. That's our character, and we were looking for George originally. We find out who's Zizzy and Pony's jobs as well, and what they were doing before everything. A little bit of background information. Now, if you notice behind that dumpster, there is a mysterious figure who we do eventually realise. Who could that mysterious figure be? We will soon find out. But yeah, we're just talking about a load of background information. When you end up at the carnival, I heard you were looking for Mr. P. This is where we tell Zizzy and Pony about we're trying to find Mr. P, because we're giving out potions. They turn you into the infected. So obviously we're telling them how we need to go and find Mr. P and kill him, stop him from doing it. You stay here for a little while, we can at least help you find him. So Zizzy and Pony want to help us find Mr. P, and then we see the mysterious figure who disappears. I think someone's watching us. This is where we find out the mysterious figure was watching us. So we decide to go and check it out. Check out who the mysterious figure is. Then obviously this moves into chapter 10 we are at now, guys. Chapter 10. They ran this way. A mall. Why would they do that? So we found out the mysterious figure ran into a mall, so we got to get through the infected mall to find out who the mysterious figure is. So as we get through the mall, the figure is hiding behind a desk, and then here we go. Show yourself. We know you've been watching us, and boom, there is the mysterious figure. We found out it is George Piggy. Interesting. So here we go. This is quite a long cutscene. I think this is the longest cutscene so far in the story. How do you know who I am? Who are you? I'm YT and this is Zizzy. But obviously YT is just me. It'd be different for everyone else. You know this kid. This is the person I was looking for. Why did you run, George? After my family visited the hospital, they acted weird and scary. I came here looking for Grandma, but everyone looks scary, so I hid. So obviously George Piggy, we've been introduced to George Piggy's family throughout the story, but George Piggy obviously escaped the family and tried to find Grandma Pig, who we believe is also infected, and basically George Piggy is just hiding for everyone because they're infected. And we're saying we're gonna help George. We're gonna find the person who infected everyone and stop them. And yeah, so we bring him back to the safe place with everyone else. Zizzy's back. This is where we're introduced to Z and Zuzi, who are the sisters. Haven't really had much part in the story. It's just they're at the safe place, and yeah. We're told that they've tracked a helicopter signal nearby, which obviously Mr. P, as you remember earlier, escaped from a helicopter. So we plan to go and find Mr. P. There we go, and obviously people want to help as well, but we leave George Piggy with the sisters, Z and Susie, because obviously we want George to remain safe while we go off and try and stop Mr. P and see what his evil intentions are. So very interesting. Yep. So this is where the signal came from. This is the last chapter, or the latest chapter, the military base, chapter 11. So here we go. I guess we're going in then. We go into the military base. Load of infected people. We get through. Here we go. Are we ready to face whatever's in there? We are ready to go in and hopefully find Mr. P. And then we're met by George Piggy. George Piggy actually came back because he told the sisters that he was playing a game of hide and seek with them so he could escape them, because he wanted to, obviously, he basically wants to kill Mr. P because he or George thinks that he's infected their whole family. We get to that later, but George thinks he's infected their whole family, so obviously he wants to go and kill them. So yeah, and there we go. FYT, take George with you in there. Polio will hold them off. Stay close to me, George. I'll keep you safe. There we go. Me and George go off to stop Mr. P. And here we go, Zizzy. If we don't make this out alive, I just want to let you know. It's okay, Pody. I already know. Now, I don't really know what they're talking about there. Theories into that. But Zizzy and Pody stop the infected. Obviously, there's a load of the infected now. The virus has properly spread a lot. And then we are met with Mr. P once more. However, Mr. P has actually turned into a robot. Mr. P has assumingly got injured somehow. We don't know the exact reason how, but Mr. P has got injured. I tried to make things better, but ended up making them worse. So this is where we understand that Mr. P is actually a good guy. We think he's evil, but he's actually a good guy. He's been trying to make things better, but he makes things worse. You two aren't real. My mind is playing tricks on me. Mr. P has basically gone crazy. He's got injured. He's had to replace himself with a load of robot stuff. He's going crazy. He's hallucinating. He doesn't know what's going on. So we are like, what's he talking about? What's going on? You two are dead, leave me be. So Mr. P just wanders off, assumes that we're hallucinations and that he's dead, and we need to go after him. And that is the final thing that happens in chapter 11, the latest chapter. Alright guys, so that is the whole story, chapters 1 to 11. Now I'm going to explain, I'm going to bring things a little bit up to date. There are loads of notes and secrets and stuff, obviously, throughout all the chapters. But if I just say some from chapter 11, obviously that will bring you up to speed on what's happening now, you know, what's up to date, instead of focusing on the other chapters, otherwise we'll be here forever. So, the first note that can be found is actually a jumbled up, scrambled note, and you have to decipher it, and when you do decipher it, it can be translated to, I was attacked by one of them and now I am here wandering just like them. And now the second note, which kind of links into this, actually says, I don't understand, I've only made 7 potions, why is everyone turning just like them dash Mr. P. Now this confirms quite a few things. First of all, Mr. P is a good guy. We've thought the whole time he's a bad guy. He's now being portrayed to be a good guy. Basically, what has happened, and what has been confirmed by previous notes as well, is that George's family got tested. Basically, George's family agreed to drinking these test potions that Mr. P made, but they went wrong. They turned them into infected people or monsters, and they basically went and killed everyone. But Mr. P said he only made 7 potions, so Mr. P can possibly be the evil guy who's going around infecting everyone with these potions because he only made 7 of them. Basically, what has happened is the virus is spreading through some other way, and most likely this is because whoever is infected and attacks another person, they also get infected through dying or being attacked or bitten, or one of them, which is confirmed from the Deciphered. No, I was attacked by one of them, and now I'm here just wandering just like them. So yeah, that's basically confirmed. The potions infect you, but also Mr. P has stopped making potions because he realised they went wrong. George himself didn't actually drink a potion, which is why George is unaffected, but his whole family is. So yeah, that's basically how the infection is spreading and how the virus is spreading so quickly, and nobody really knows how to cure it, and it's getting a little bit out of hand. What is also confirmed, or not really confirmed, but there's a confirmed sighting of some sort of shadow or some sort of ghost found in chapter 11, which does look quite like Bunny. If you look at it closely, it has the bunny ears and it looks quite like Bunny. Now, does this mean Bunny is dead? Possibly. Who knows? But it does look like Bunny. I don't know why there'd be bunny ears if it wasn't Bunny, so that's kind of more like a theory than actually confirmed, but there is a shadow of something, and the only explanation is kind of Bunny, or not the only explanation, but the most logical explanation is that it's Bunny's ghost, which would confirm that Bunny has died, maybe not from the infection, but maybe from something else. I do not know. Now, the very last thing I want to talk about is TSP. Now, TSP are a group, an evil group that have, from chapter 10, we found out from notes that TSP are an evil group that have been taking advantage of Mr. P's situation, and basically they are an evil group trying to benefit from the situation. We find out in chapter 10 how they're gathering people together, gathering a group together and taking advantage of the situation. We can now kind of confirm that this is called the 7 potions, because Mr. P said he made 7 potions. TSP, the 7 potions. It only makes sense. We've got no other hint as towards what it could possibly be called, and there's no way that is a coincidence. So yeah, but that's everything I'm going to talk about this video. Obviously there are so many notes, so many theories I could go and talk about, which I am going to talk about in future videos, but I'm going to stop now. So I hope everyone enjoyed. Feel free to watch the summarized video if you would like to get a shorter video, and yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye guys, see you later.